Hey everybody, welcome back to Truth Revealed. I'm your host, Sergio Denaro, and today we are going to look at Sarah Boone, aka the Suitcase Killer. All right, this analysis shouldn't be too controversial. We are going to look at her police interview today. Sarah Boone, the Suitcase Killer. And the way that she speaks, it's very generically normal. Now, she does have some issues. And when you see her talk, you might think there's nothing normal about the way that she talks. But what I'm saying is the way that she tells the truth and the way that she lies is very normal. It's very standard. Now, you'll see that she lies a lot, and that makes her language look crazy in a lot of places, but that's just normal. Her baseline is normal. Okay, the interrogators are in red. Sarah's statements are in black. My statements, she is the victim. You're not, you know. So, but you guys were both sober on Sunday to your knowledge, because when I said you went and passed out, you were like, no, I didn't pass out. I just fell asleep. So now it's kind of like, what is it? Where are you? Where are you guys drinking? So you've got numerous questions in here. Anyways, so Sunday was one of the better days that we have had in quite some time. Okay, earlier she said that they haven't had any issues. It's been really good for the last month, for the last 3 to 4 weeks. That's what she said earlier. Now she says Sunday was one of the better days that they've had in quite some time. He's dancing with my dog. You can see that too on the pictures, him loving the dog. He doesn't know I can't. I mean, so we got a sentence fragment. We got 2 negatives in a sentence fragment here. I mean, I can get like maybe 2-3 glasses of wine and I'll be fine. So just randomly now we're jumping back to the wine. And she's saying 3 glasses of wine doesn't affect her at all. But I have to have my wits about myself because I don't know what to expect. Oof. She just gave us some good information here. Because I don't know what to expect, that is a explanatory statement plus a negative, which means that's the lie here. We have 2 negatives with the sentence fragment. And then because I don't know what to expect, which means this is planned. So we had an indicator that this stuff was planned, and now we're getting more definitive confirmation that in fact this is very much her plan, and that the dog was the dog before he died and my dog after. All right, so borderline personality, have to be the only person in their significant other's life. The jealousy is wild, and it includes pets. So where were you guys on drunkenness? Not drunkenness on Sunday, and you told us you weren't drunk. Okay, they're fixating on the alcohol thing. No, I was not drunk, okay? That's uncontracted denial, which means she definitely was. I was not drunk, so she double stamps it and gives us the uncontracted denial twice, just in case you were curious if, because she has said it numerous times, even though there's been no accusation in here that she was drunk, just the fact that she talked about it a couple of times, you could see the uncontraction, but double stamping it is too much. So she was drunk, so with him, with is an indicator of conflict here. So with him, I don't know. I is repeating I. That's sensitivity. And you've seen in her baseline here, she does not repeat words ever. She never says I. So that is something we definitely want to notate. So with him, I don't know. I know when it's like, okay, man, where I told him, slow down. It's starting to catch up with you. Slow down, slow down. And another thing too is I don't like listening to music with him because he gets too involved in the music. We have with him. So we have conflict right from the beginning. So with. And then she says, I don't know. I know when it's like, okay, man, where I told him slow down. All right. So that's what she's lying about. She very specifically wants to say that she told him to drink less, but it's so difficult to lie. There's so much stress around that it creates a bunch of indicators right before she says the lie. So I was not uncontracted. And then she says, I don't know. And then she says, I. It's starting to catch up with you. So starting, we have missing time. What's missing? Well, it was her starting to drink and getting him to drink. So now we know what the starting is. The starting is her starting to drink and getting him to drink a lot. Now we get the slow down, okay, overemphasizing the slow down. And another thing too is I don't like listening to music. So that's out of the blue, just wild left field. Whew. Don't like listening to music with him. So conflict again, because explanatory statement, he gets too involved in the music. Interesting. She's blaming him. Anything that, and the music that he listens to is a little rough around the edges, and like just, it makes me fractious. Fractious. That's an interesting word. So listening to his music. So I kept asking him, let's just you and me talk. All right. So now she is giving you another indicator that she doesn't like that the music separates them. And let's see, which was fine because I mean, we were playing with the dog. So before he died, it was the dog. And then it's like, okay, now let's do the painting. Okay, we have first reference to painting here. Let's just highlight that. Just did the puzzle, took a break. Okay, so the puzzle went to completion. Did the puzzle, took a break. That's good for our timeline here. I hadn't marked that before, but that is good for our timeline. Let's keep going. Now let's do this. So she means the painting. Sure enough, sat down. Who sat down? Did she sit down or did he sit down? Who sat down? That's what we want to know. And that's what she doesn't want us to know. So we're sitting in there talking, laughing, talking about new movies. We're watching movie trailers while we're doing painting. So they're doing the painting and all that other stuff. Oh, now she's throwing in those generic things again and all that other stuff. What is all that other stuff? Now we have some indicator of sensitivity here. They finished the puzzle but started painting. That general word which is leaving out something. So it's still background noise to him because I think that's what he was used to with having background noise, where me, I can sit in here all day with not a peep, but he always has to have some kind of background noise, which I didn't mind because, okay, so she says that listening to music makes her fractious. What is the definition of fractious? Irritable, unruly, difficult to control. It often refers to people or groups who are prone to causing trouble, being disobedient, or quarrelsome. All right, so it makes her irritable, unruly, difficult, disobedient, and quarrelsome. She says he likes to have it as background noise, which I don't mind because, well, that's a lie. And we see that. It's a lie because she says that it makes her fractious. Let's tie some things together here. The music that she talks about in here, this is after they've started painting and after they were finished with the puzzle. And she's telling you that she's fractious right now, and she's saying it's because of the music. Getting excited about movies that were out or upcoming. Okay, repeated, I was not drunk, overemphasis, deception, she was drunk. Explanatory plus and negative, he was drunk too. The repeating I, something she doesn't want you to know, plus started is missing time where she did something she doesn't want you to know. And then the negative statement regarding the music. I plus him and with equals conflict. So here's the I plus him and with. There's conflict here. So slow down. And another thing too is I don't like listening to music with him. All right. So there's conflict around the time of the music. And this ties back in to down here, which is after they've started painting. Okay. We're still good. You and me talk, strong conflict. We have you and me as instead of we were talking. That's a separation. So the conflict starts here. So the music makes her fractious. So I kept asking him, let's just you and me talk. All right. The conflict started here. That's what we're getting at, is this point, which was right after they started painting. There's music on. She became fractious. There's conflict between them as they start to talk. Negative plus, okay, I didn't mind because the trailers were cool. That's a lie. Well, we learned. We have an escalation of subject getting drunk and getting angry, fractious. The noise was escalating her anger and the division between them, but we don't have any indication yet of what made her angry to begin with. We have indication that we are leading right into the incident and that she is angry, but we don't yet know why. You said it was a good day. Like, you guys don't have any real conversations about your relationship. You guys didn't go down like the rabbit hole, like had too many to drink, and you guys start getting, okay, so there's multiple questions or insinuations of questions and conversations about the relationship, too many to drink, and you guys start getting, which is going somewhere else, a third topic now going into this. And finally, Sarah just jumps in here. She says, nope, when I tell you this, it made me so happy that he actually listened to what I had to say. All right, I had to say with, okay, now we got an indicator of conflict, I and with. just we'll get through it. Ooh, we'll get through what? So now we have conflict, and she directly says we'll get through it. This will be fine. It's just it's a small hurdle that you and I, missing we, together will get through because, and then she gets cut off. Let's start this with nope. Nope is the answer to the question. Okay, so they had a conversation. They had a fight. We'll get through it. This means a relationship ending fight. That we have conflict. It's a small hurdle. So we have repeating it's 3 times here. And then that you and I together, that is another indicator of conflict. So they are having an argument that could end their relationship. The rest of this is, she says, he actually listened to what, that's just an additional platitude. That's an additional phrase to make things sound good. But the crux of the message here is I had to say with just, we'll get through it. So you have, she's angry. They had an argument that she's not telling you about, so she's hiding something. So you got angry plus hiding something plus conflict. We'll get through it. Something happened that the subject is angry about. It's repeated 3 times. It's a very large hurdle. We'll get through it. This will be fine. It's just, it's a small hurdle. That is an indicator of distance. You and I is a missing we. So now that's very problematic because now she actually took the we and separated it. So you and I together, instead of saying we will get through it, she says you and I together. That is an awful lot of words to say we. She was angry even after the conversation because it's an explanatory statement. She's about to tell you where all this anger is going when the interrogator cuts her off. So she says, got it. And Sarah says, I tried to evoke it from him so he gets it off his chest because I call him the volcano where eventually he's going to erupt. So we have I tried to evoke it from him. She has separated them as far as she possibly can in this sentence. Literally the first and last word in the sentence. The conflict is getting massive. 2 explanatory statements here. And then the interrogator says, right. But it was when I tell you I was so happy. Like, it was such a good day. I kid you not. The weather was beautiful outside. I'm the one that had him go inside so we can do puzzles and painting and listen to music or whatever he wants to do. So then he starts doing whatever it is we're doing together in the living room and then starts talking because I think he gets comfortable with. Okay, you know what? We're here. It's a good day. Let's go ahead. So she cuts herself off here. She was going down this road and I'm like, go on. So she says, but it was, and then she pauses. When I tell you it was, so this is a sentence fragment. When I tell you it was so happy. So you have this pause here, and that pause is often an indicator of deception. So you have 2 explanatory statements with that pause. Happy, we already figured out she was angry. Like it was such a good day. Not a good day, but it was like it was a good day. Meaning it was a bad day, but the weather was good. So it was like a good day. I'm the one that had him go inside so we can do puzzles and painting and listen to music. We already know the music's a problem. And we already know they finished the puzzle and they started the painting. So that's where we left off in the paragraph before, whatever he wants to do. So then he starts doing whatever it is we're doing together. She is so lost in their argument at this point, in that rage, that this becomes a meaningless detail to her. So then he starts doing. So what did he start doing? We remember from the question before, he started painting in the living room and then starts, we have another start. This is an indication that violence starts. When you have starting multiple times, it usually is going into physical violence. Then starts talking because I think he gets comfortable with, I really am curious where that goes because that's a sentence fragment. After all of this stuff, that is just hugely problematic. So let's keep going. Okay, you know what? We're here. It is a good day. Let me go ahead and explain myself. So I know nobody else knows, but I know nobody knew George better than I did. All right, we have a bunch of misdirection and then some repeating of the generic rehearsed stuff. It's a good day. Let me go ahead and explain myself. So now you see why so is an explanatory, because actually that's what's on your brain when you're saying so, but she actually says it. And let me explain myself. So I know nobody else knows, two generic statements here. George better than I did. I say that I knew George better than himself, and I tried in every way, shape, and form. Ask everyone. This is very problematic. We are getting a bunch of lines here with no information, which means we have something big coming up. I helped him. I took care of him. I miss him a lot, and I didn't even sleep last night, okay? I miss him a lot, okay? So is this the lie? I miss him a lot? That seems too mundane. It seems too irrelevant to be the big lie. So we have a fragment, and explanatory, plus happy equals so angry. Use of past tense means truthful. So I'm the one that had him go inside. That's truthful. He starts missing time, starts talking, missing conversation. Okay. Starts talking is about a conversation. So we have two issues here. We have missing time. He starts. So we have missing time, missing conversation, and we have two starts. This is when he told subject that he had cheated on her. Bum, bum, bum. And they're going to play a recording in a second where she says that this is for cheating on me. Keep in mind that we have identified that she has borderline personality. So this means that he did not necessarily cheat, because BPD will see literally anything as cheating. So if he went and bought a bottle of wine and the person at the counter was female, or let's say that she was somebody that he dated 5 years before and they haven't talked since then, and he came back and said, hey, you know what, I ran into so-and-so. That alone would be enough for her to say that he cheated. That's just something that we need to keep in mind here. Subject gets too angry to continue and switches to default mode. Generalities, question. So she gets so angry when she's going through this right here that she switches the conversation and tries to go back to her default, where she's very generic and just goes into giving a lot of words without a lot of meaning there. But we have generalities. We have a question within an answer. Okay, you know what? That's a question. We have a negative. Didn't even sleep last night. So this paragraph is a gloss over. We have a bunch of indicators of deception in here, which all this tells you, it's that there was something at the end here that she didn't want to tell you that was incriminating. So she switched the conversation. She actually switched the topic here into this vague, let me tell you a story about nothing. And this is how she gets out of this. So there you go. That's why you got all this deception here. And this deception here is about the incident. So the incident started here. And once the incident started, she cut herself off. Let's keep going. I mean, okay, so this is what we know. Let's see what the interrogators are up to. I mean, is there any chance it got to be too much for you and you couldn't handle taking care of him? Oh, I thought they were going to say, and you killed him. And I think that's what they're insinuating here. And you couldn't handle taking care of him. And she says, I never stopped. And then, okay, so now they're talking over each other. I never stopped. And then the interrogator says, and trying. And she says, I never stopped. That's what I'm here for. I never stopped. I'm here now again. I'm still trying to help him. That is bizarro world here. I actually have no idea what this means. Killing him was to help his soul. Like, what is she saying here? She says, I never stopped trying to take care of him. I never stopped. That's what I'm here for at the interrogation, to help him. She says, I never stopped. I'm here now again. I'm still trying to help him. That's like, I don't even know. To help his soul? Like, what is she saying that she's helping him with here? Now, you might think, oh, she's trying to be helpful with the police to find his killer. No, that's not in question here. She already admitted that she zipped him in the suitcase and woke up and he was dead. So what is she trying to be helpful with for him? What's she trying to help him with? That is just another indicator of disassociation from reality, is what I'm saying. Since yesterday, do you remember any timelines better? What time were you guys playing? He was zipped up in the luggage. What time? You went downstairs. I tell you, we started because we cleaned the house a little bit, did some laundry. I tell you, again, we got a nice fragment here. We started because it's a fragment. We got missing time. We have an explanatory statement, and we had is a sentence fragment. And then what we're left with after that is we cleaned the house a little bit, did some laundry. So what was the question again? Since yesterday, do you remember any timelines better? I tell you, we started because we cleaned the house a little bit, did some laundry. That's the timeline. Huge, massive, just straight out lie, actually. This is just straight up covering up, trying to gloss over the incident itself. And we get that because of the missing time. Then